this kind of encapsulates exactly how I feel about motherhood. Like, it is precious. It's the most important thing I'm going to do. It's a God job. Like, yeah, this is a calling, and that God's given me to do, and to treat it as such.
Well, welcome back for another episode where we're going through your album. And what song are we going to be talking about today?
We are going to talk about Precious Endeavor.
Cool. And this song is about...
This song is about motherhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So this is actually the first song and only song I've written about being a mom.
That seems wild to me.
Yeah.
Just because you've been it for a hot minute.
A good 10 years.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about how this song came together, though, is I feel like there's some things you can't write about because you don't have the perspective for them yet. You're just too in it, you know? But when I was in it, in the thick of like having a toddler and a baby, or it was a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old maybe around the time I wrote the first lines of the song, it was such an intense season. And I remember one night after I put my kids to bed, it was just an especially difficult bedtime routine where my daughter it was so hard to get her to sleep. Like, just so many negotiations.
Yeah. Yep.
And just like, go to sleep. And she would need me to lay next to her. And then I would do that thing where I'm just like checking to see if she's asleep
Becoming
yet.
a ninja while you're just like trying to get out.
To sneak out. And then she's like aware that I'm leaving the room and stuff. Anyways, it was one of those nights where it was just like endless. Yeah. And I came downstairs and just like sighed a big giant sigh. And I was like, stop to watch you fall asleep tonight. I had these lines in my head because that was the feeling I had that night. It was like after this really challenging bedtime, when she finally fell asleep, I like stayed in there.
And you just stared at her.
And I watched her sleeping, and I was like, what in the world? Like, I was just
You're the most annoying human being,
trying to get
now
you to
you're
fall
the most
asleep.
precious human being.
And now I'm laying in here longer than I have to because I want to watch you sleep. There's just something. Oh, yeah. I think every mom or parent in general knows this feeling of like, you want them to go to sleep, and then once they are, you're like, oh,
can we stay together and snuggle? The number of times that Cam and I have with our daughter, she'll be in bed asleep, and we'll look at her on the monitor and be like, can we go cuddle with her? Like, can we go get her up? And it's like, that would be she would be a terrorist. Yeah. It'd be really horrible.
Yeah. But I think God made it this way that like when they sleep, it must release some sort of like chemical in the brain that makes you just feel bonded or connected or just like compassionate. I feel so nostalgic when I watch them sleep. Like, oh, they're babies. Yeah. They're babies. Like, even now.
Even when they're a little older.
They're my 10-year-old, when she's sleeping, I'm like, oh, my baby.
My baby.
But only when she's sleeping.
Right. Otherwise, you're like, no. My 10-year-old.
I like her.
Yeah, I love her.
I love her a lot. I love her so much.
Yeah.
But
endless love.
Endless love. Yeah. But then there's just something like really unique about watching your kids sleep. Not creepy. But
no. It's not.
So I had come downstairs after that, and it was like, I just felt inspired to write a couple lines about that. Completely forgot about it. Never did anything with it. It was just more of I didn't even think this will be a song. It was more just like, I have a feeling about this, like watching your kids sleep thing.
What were the lines? Do you remember?
I think it was, stop to watch you fall asleep tonight. I think it was actually the full first, what ended up being the full first verse. Yeah. In the fading light, you finally shut those eyes. I sighed to blow away frustration. Tonight, one long negotiation. But it was probably not that. I remember tweaking those lines to make them into like a verse. Yeah. But it was those ideas laid out in different ways. But so then, fast forward, I think maybe 5 years later, 4 or 5 years later, I found that old journal, and I was just flipping through the pages, which is fun to do every once in a while. And I do write down little snippets of ideas. And I had written down, because I had written down those lines, I found it and I was like, huh, that could be something. Yeah. And I felt inspired to, and so I sat down and wrote the whole rest of Precious Endeavor. But I felt like I finally had the perspective from those 5 more years of parenting to go, I know what I want to say about this now. This isn't just a frustrating experience and I don't understand this. It's like,
you're on
I've
the
never
other side a little bit. Yeah.
3 times over. And I maybe have something to say about it. And so I wrote Precious Endeavor. And
how long ago?
I think.
Did you finish it?
2 years ago or so. Yeah. I think 2022. Okay. Wow. 2022 was a year,
real year for it.
That's how it seems to go for me. I go through these cycles of like nothing, a lot of creativity. Nothing. And like I said in one of the earlier episodes, I feel like that's part of just my process and maybe a creative process in general. You're sowing seeds and then eventually you get to reap the harvest of creativity. Right. But in those seasons where nothing's happening, it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. Like seeds are growing, ideas are being planted, and it's exciting when you get to reap that harvest. So, Precious Endeavor came together over a wide range of years.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the process of recording it, because it features someone that it makes me want to cry pretty much every single time.
Just talking about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Or hearing it.
When I hear her voice.
Yes, so multiple special voices on this one, because my mom, who was visiting a couple years, or last year ago, when I was recording, I had the idea that, Mom, do you want to sing on this song? Like sing the background vocals for me on this song about being a mom. And she's like, of course, it's like a dream come true. Yep. I mean, she just loves singing together. Yep. Always. And this was just extra special. So she came into the studio and recorded all the background vocals for it. And she came up with the like, ooh, that in the bridge, which was really sweet. And so that is an incredibly special feature to me. And then this was a recent one, like when we were in the mixing process, I was like, what if Evelyn is on this? So I just started looking through old videos that maybe could fit.
Couldn't have found like better.
Right? And so I found this old video of her. It's a video of her jumping on the bed, her little like toddler bed. And as she's jumping, I'm singing, one little monkey jumping on the bed. And then when I get to falling off, she jumps off and like rolls off and all dramatic. And then she would giggle and go, sing that again. And then just because, that's how kids are. Obviously. Sing that again. Let's do it again. Start it over. Let's do it 1,000,000 times.
Anything to avoid going to bed.
And so that little clip of sing that again, I was like, oh, that could be at the end. She wants me to sing it again. And then I just found one of her like jumping on a trampoline and giggling. So that one is in the beginning of the song and at the end. And
this is a time capsule.
Yes.
Song.
Yes. I know. I'm really, really happy to have it.
Can you
for my sake, for her sake, for my mom's sake, and for anyone who loves all 3 of us.
Imagine, and I do. So thank you. I'm just like imagining in 10 plus years from now, if Evelyn writes music, like that she just, imagine the gift that it would be.
Yeah.
That she's like, hey, I wrote a song about or 10 plus years. God, it needs to be way longer for her to be having children. Yeah. But when she's 50 and she decides that it's time to start dating, I'm just kidding. But like, she's having her own kids and then she has you. I'm just like, this is a time capsule. Like I heard somebody say this more recently, that they were on a walk with pushing a stroller with their kid in the stroller, and their mom was also there. And the kid is like like just frustrated, or the kid is just like being playful and having fun, whatever. And the mom says, "Oh, to be a kid again." And her older mom said, "Oh, to be a mom of young kids again." Like, it's just this, like, it is a time capsule of this little, just season of life that feels hard. But, like, you will at some point have a new perspective that you don't even have right now.
Right.
And you'll look back and be like, oh, to be a mom of the littles, even though it was frustrating. It was so frustrating when she wouldn't go to sleep, or, the long negotiations to get her, or whatever. She was fiery. Like, and so it's like you can, and still can be, like, and kids just are. It's a part of the growing up experience and everything. But if you can then have a new perspective and look back and be like, oh, to be a mom of littles again.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure for your own mom that this is a really precious thing to watch unfold.
Yeah. And will be precious for Evelyn in new ways for her eventually. I think it already is in some ways. She feels special that she has a song about her. But there will be a time where she's like, whoa, I get it now.
I've sent this song to a number of people just in that. I feel like this is one of the songs that when you put it out, it was like, this is specific enough, but also it's not too niche. It's a lot of people are moms, right? And it's a kind of, as a mom, a universal experience. Even if you don't have kids that maybe have a hard time going to bed or whatever, I have the watching you sleep is to remember you are my most I prayed for that. Are you kidding me? Like, I know that I so feel tied to this, even if that part is not the struggle. It's, for me, it's during the day. Right. She can be hard during the day, and it's the nighttime is actually the most beautiful time, when she's just the sweetest and goes down so easy. And I know I'm so blessed to have that, but she can be really hard during the day, she is fiery. And so watching her sleep is my way of remembering and being like, oh my gosh, that's why I want to go snuggle with you right now. It's because
it is such a universal experience. And I love this song because I feel like I was able to say exactly what I wanted to say about mothering. I'm sure there's other things I could say.
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe I will one day to feel inspired to write more songs about it. But like, man, this kind of encapsulates exactly how I feel about motherhood. Like, it is precious. It's the most important thing I'm going to do. It's a God
This is
job.
your holy work right now.
This is a calling, and that God's given me to do, and to treat it as such. And just all the things that I hope for, that I would be helping her find the way in the world, her way in the world, with the personality that God's given her, and to remain a safe place for her. And I love the line of helping her learn that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn to apologize well, and that I'm learning my fair share of that one too. Like, that is motherhood to me, is that you're not going to get it perfectly. Telling my perfectionist child, you're not going to get it perfect, and that's okay. And you can learn to say sorry. That was really hard for her. But it's hard for adults too.
It is.
And so to learn that myself as a mom, like, you're not going to get it perfectly, and that's okay. And you can apologize for the times that you don't. Like, you will fail, but then you have the opportunity to model apologizing well to your children. And they learn through that modeling, that when you mess up, you just go and make it right. And that's what a safe relationship is.
But to watch you sleep is to remember